Welcome back to the Building Confidence podcast, where I, your host, Louise as a party, share what I've learned through the years, through the tears, so you don't have to. This is episode 117, and we're going to be talking about the fear of arrogance, stopping you from being proud. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean when we have something that we should be feeling really, really proud of, or feel like we are very proud of, but we hold ourselves back from either telling people or letting that feeling of pride come up because we don't want to be perceived as arrogant. This episode is proudly supported by Time and People, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about them later on, and also about the coaching scholarship that is available that is being supported by Time and People. All right. So, this fear of arrogance when we have something awesome to be proud of can come up in a few different ways, and I want to talk about two different ways: the people that we're around, and also inside of our heads. When we are in a situation when we're like, yes, I've achieved this, I've won my award, I have completed my qualification, I've overcome this hard hurdle, I've got this new job, I got this pay rise, so many different things. The people around us can create a big impact on whether we celebrate or not. Now, I call these safe people. Sometimes people are safe to celebrate around, and you feel and you know that you are safe to celebrate them. There's people who are just safe to celebrate around in general, and then there's also reading the room. So sometimes these people who are safe to celebrate around, they sometimes can be having a bad day, this, that, whatever is happening, a funeral, a mental health challenge. There are periods of time where maybe you read the room and you're like, okay, cool, it doesn't match the vibe right now to be proud of this. But these people that you have around you, if 90% of the time you feel okay to be proud of them, proud around them, and even proud of them anyway, but if you feel okay to be proud around them, then I call them safe people. If you've got people where you're actually scared the majority of the time to be proud around them, then maybe they're not safe people. Maybe they might have a few other red flags going on about them. But if people around you aren't happy for your success the majority of the time, because everyone is human, then maybe you should be, or you can reconsider who is in your circle. One of the things that people say when you are trying to better yourself is to be in the room or around people that are one step ahead of you. That is all well and good, but taking a step back from that, I think having people around you that you feel safe around in this scheme of this topic to celebrate, that can really help boost you up as well, and even help you in your day-to-day life. Typically, if you are on your guard on how happy or proud you are around someone, then that can really hold you back from acknowledging your own wins. So that's the people thing. And I really say that knowing that adult friendships are hard to create, but I have had the experience of letting a few quote unquote friends loose who didn't really support me. And yeah, it was lonely for a period of time, but actually letting those quote unquote friends go made space for new friends who are really happy to celebrate me. I'm happy to celebrate them. And, sometimes we read the room, sometimes stuff is happening and we adjust and we maybe celebrate later. But most of the time, I do not have to have a filter on around them. And they are the type of really awesome people to be around. All right, being proud in your head. Being proud for you, being proud in your quiet moments, giving yourself that time and space to actually acknowledge the cool things that you have done. One of my girls, she come to me and she was like, I've been nominated for this award and I don't reckon I have any right to be nominated. She's like, why do you think anyone's nominated me for this award? I'm like, you've overcome hard stuff to get where you are, haven't you? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, that is what this is acknowledging, the hard stuff that you overcome to get to where you are today. And she was like, oh. She hadn't let herself be proud of what was going on. And I know when you're overcoming hard things, the pride afterwards kind of seems a bit bittersweet, but giving that to yourself as a little bit of a boost to kind of get you back into quote unquote normal life, or that kind of achieving space after you've kind of been through the mud, is really powerful. It really helps you kind of be like, okay, that chapter, it was hard. I made it. Good job, me, going forward. And that kind of good job to yourself is this pride that you have in your head. One of my other girls, she was really, really conscious of what she was putting out in the world. And there was a bit of a barrier for her stepping out and being proud around people and that kind of thing. So we were working on the thoughts and being proud of yourself. And we come up with this line: no one is going to call the noise police for the party inside your head. You're allowed to be proud of yourself whenever you want. That fear of being arrogant, when that is stopping you from being proud, it's not useful. When you are proud of yourself, you boost your mood, you celebrate your achievements, you acknowledge the cool shit that you've done. So then you can use that as a springboard to go into your next step. I think some people believe that if you allow yourself to be proud, then you are actually just going to stay at that level. You're like, cool, I'm really proud of this, and nothing's going to happen next. But that is up to you. What happens next after you're proud, or after you've done some cool stuff that you are proud of, what you do next is totally up to you. You can stop there. You can keep going. I'm pretty sure if you're listening to the podcast, you're probably not going to be stopping after you're doing one thing that you're proud of. You're going to keep on going and keep on growing. So this standalone thing of being proud of the cool stuff that you've done, it's not going to stop you from growing. Now, that arrogance, I feel like as growing up and even as a teen, I saw people that I perceived as arrogant, and I was like, hell no, I do not want to be like them. And in my mind, arrogance is the kind of, I know everything, I am the best, end of story. Whereas pride is, I have done some cool stuff and I'm really, really happy and excited about that. That is what pride is to me. And I think in my mind, I know it can get confused sometimes until I have actively separated the two and defined what arrogance means to me and what pride means to me. When I can sit there and say, awesome, I'm really proud of what I have created in the coaching business. This is episode 117 of the podcast. Like 117 episodes. I've been doing this for over 2 years. And usually every time I record a podcast, I'm like, oh my God, I've done that. I have created 117 pieces of content that did not exist before that are now out in the world. And even looking back, completing my apprenticeship, I got a few awards during my apprenticeship. The time that I did my first engine rebuild, like they are all super proud moments for me. And just because I let myself feel proud about them didn't mean I thought I was the best at everything. And honestly, like I am so proud of this podcast for a very current day example, but I do know that this is not the best podcast out in the world. You know, the ratings and all that stuff. Like we actually got 5 stars from the 16 people who have reviewed the podcast. So I'm actually pretty happy with that. But I do know that podcasts have like millions of followers, millions of ratings, millions of downloads. All right. But just the fact that, you know, my podcast is not the best podcast out in the world, but I'm really proud of myself for creating it. And we can take this into our trade. Like I said, I was using some examples about my first rebuild, you know, your first engine service on your own. And I do use a lot of mechanical examples because that is my trade background. I teach part-time. I'm really proud every time I get out of a class. Well, sometimes the pride kind of takes a little bit to kick in because sometimes the class can be a bit of hard work. But coming out of a day of teaching and be like, yep, I stood in front of the class and I gave it my best, and I'm really happy with that. I'm proud of that. And give myself that little moment of, I did it. And that is awesome. And you know what? I know when I stand in front of a class, it's not perfect. There is space I can improve on, but it doesn't mean I can't be proud of what I have already done. So being proud of yourself, giving yourself little moments is really important. Giving yourself little moments to be proud of does not mean that you are going to stop growing. It doesn't mean that you're arrogant. It doesn't mean that sometimes, you do have an award saying that you are the best, or some kind of rating that's saying you are the best. But usually there's always space to grow in that. So in the scheme of the topic, the fear of arrogance stopping you from being proud, the people that you are around can really create an environment or destroy the environment for you to be proud of yourself and proud of each other. Have a look at your friends. First step is sometimes to even just identify one person that you're proud of and kind of go be proud with them. Tell them about what's going on. Give them an opportunity to say what they're being proud about. If they are most of the people that you're around, or even all of the people that you're around, if you don't feel safe being proud around them, maybe regroup. And see if you can find some people that it is safe to be proud around, and proud of them. I know adult friendships are hard. I say that fully acknowledging adult friendships are hard. Then coming to yourself. Sit back and define what arrogance is and what pride is to you. Like I said, my example, arrogance is I'm the best, I know everything, and pride is I've done some cool stuff and I'm really happy and excited about it. Having those definitions allows me to be proud of myself. All right. If you are looking for a safe space to be proud and you don't have that in your day-to-day life, please come and join my Facebook group, Tradeswomen Owning Their Power. We do a celebrating post every 2 weeks. So you're more than welcome to come in, even just do a standalone post about some cool stuff. We've got the girls qualifying. Some of the girls are starting their own businesses. Some of them have products that they are selling for different things they are creating. So they show them in there. There are all different things happening. You can celebrate in that Facebook group. All right. So that's the end of that topic. Now, going to the sponsor of this episode, Time and People. Time and People are actually sponsoring a coaching scholarship, which is super cool. And I'm so proud to be able to create this partnership with them to be able to offer someone free coaching. So you're eligible for the coaching scholarship if you live in Australia, if you're a tradeswoman or tradesperson, so a minority and non-binary person, and if you are over 18. If you are under 18 and you want to apply, you send me a message, and if your guardian says that it's all cool, then you can go through with the application of the scholarship. So Time and People is providing employee, visitor, and contract compliance. So, sometimes you have your phone in your pocket, you walk into a site, it picks up that you are on that site, whether you're a contractor or a person. The aim of what Time and People do is to create safety for everyone, so they know so construction sites, mining sites, all that kind of stuff, can know who is on their site, so they can, for evacuations, also for payroll, for different things, to know that you were there, that you were safe, and to take stock of the time that you were there. So they manage the compliance of the people that walk on and off sites. And I'm really happy that Time and People are able to sponsor a coaching scholarship so I can give coaching, the 6-month coaching package, to one of the awesome, listeners or people in my circle, and even in the circle that you are in. So if you're listening to this podcast and you think, oh, cool, I know someone who could really use some extra help right now with some coaching, please send them the podcast. You can also just send them the link to apply, which will be in the description box below. But yeah, that is episode 117, The Fear of Arrogance Stopping You from Being Proud, supported by Time and People. All right. I will see you guys in the next episode, but before we wrap up, if you are not feeling too proud of yourself right now, please borrow my pride and belief in you. I know you can do anything that you put your mind to, and I am proud of whatever achievements that you have. All right, I'll talk to you next episode.